You're just lying to him so that you don't have to deal with the fact that you're kind of a fucked up person. I don't know. It just seems really mean. It seems meaner than being like, I love him, or I like him, or what he said before about the thing where he has that power over her, or whatever, that, he's that, chemistry kind of thing, or whatever you want to call it, that kind of just locks them together, or whatever. I lost my train of thought. I don't even know what I'm talking about. I just completely lost it. Her saying that she doesn't really like him, and that it's all because she wants to be him. And I understand that is part of it, and that is part of it. We're not saying that it isn't. I'm just saying that it's not. It's the part of it that she'll admit to herself, but it is not in any way all of the whole of it. It's ludicrous to say that, because you know it's a lie, and you know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. You know it's a lie. Okay, hold on. I walk over to him, shakily reaching out for him. He closes his eyes and turns his face from me a little, though he doesn't fully recoil this time. As my palm touches his face, I feel dirty. Every pore of my body, oozing shame. Please run, I say, my voice breaking as it rides with tears. Please don't hate me. He turns to face me. I don't hate you, Hermione, he whispers. I hate what you're doing, and I hate him. But how can I? He takes a deep breath. It's not your fault, he says firmly. I know you. You'd never willingly sleep with a Death Eater. It's not a normal circumstance. It's all his fault. I know. I go. Run. The door swings open. And just to make everything worse, thank you very bloody much, Lucius strides into the room. He freezes when he sees Ron, his eyes widen and then narrow. What the hell is he doing here? He says furiously, and then Ron spins around, his cheek blanching when it comes face to face with the man who took everything from me. Phew! Phew! He sputters before he charges at Lucius. He raises him. You fucking perverted bastard! I'll kill you! I'll kill you! Slam! Lucius recoils, clutching at his nose. After it's recoiled with Ron's fist. You got what you wanted, didn't you, you bastard? He screams. How dare you! How fucking dare you! Impedimenta! Impedimenta! Ron is thrown backwards and slams to the wall behind him, yelling out in pain. Ron! I scream, but Lucius grabs me by the arm, rushing me towards him. As I come face to face with him, all I can see is fury solidified from that marble face of him. What has happened? He asks, his voice little more than a whisper, pulling tight with fear. I just stare at him, feeling my lips twitch as I try to tell him, but I can't. I just can't. He shakes furiously when I don't answer. For God's sakes, answer me! I'll tell you, I hear from behind me. Lucius and I turn, both Lucius and I turn to see Ron pulling himself up to his feet, his face red with fury. Lucius drawls, his tone malicious, but there's a vein of steel running through it. I feel I should inform you, Weasley, that I wasn't talking to you. And it's bad manners, indeed, to intrude on another person's conversation. Shut up, Ron. Shut up! Shut up! Ron yells, his voice a roar of absolute naked hatred. I know, alright. I know what's going on between you two. Don't patronize me, you bastard. Oh no. How could this get any worse? Ron knows, Lucius knows that he knows, and only God knows who is going to suffer for all this. I chance to look at Lucius. His face is chalk white, his muscles going in his cheek, and his eyes are wide and huge. How could you? His eyes flicker downwards, and they narrow with fury as they come to rest on my face. He grips at my arm and drags me towards him, shaking me hard. How did he find out? he asked, his voice hissing through his gritted teeth. I just stare at him. His eyes are slits of rage. Good God, what have you done, you stupid girl? How did he? His words fade into nothingness as he draws his hand back to slap me across the face. I cry out and spin, falling from his arms down to the floor. You stupid bitch! He hisses. How the hell did he? Leave her alone! Ron yells. I feel the warm weight under my arm, helping me to my feet. I look up so I can see Ron, my darling Ron, pulling me to my feet. It wasn't her fault. If you want someone to blame, try your idiot son. Lucius' face loses a tiny amount of color it was left with. What do you mean by that? Ron laughs. Ron laughs bitterly. Oh, don't worry, he doesn't know. Not as far as I'm aware, anyways. But it's his fault I got here. He came in here when I was cleaning the corridor. Oh, excuse me. The corridor. And then he left. He forgot to lock the door again. Lucy just looks at the pair of us, and I can see his eyes working behind those bottomless eyes of his. I can see his mind working behind those bottomless eyes of his. I know what he's wondering. I'd be thinking about it myself when I wasn't so preoccupied with everything else. Why was Draco snooping around in his father's room? Well, of course I know why. He's suspicious. He has been for a long time now. And when I got in here, I realized you left your cupboard open. Ron says triumphantly, almost smiling. Lucius Malfoy, the great strategist, made the simple mistake as to leave something that was important unattended, where anyone could find it. In a snap second, I realized Lucius raised his wand in temper as Ron gasped, doubling over slightly. I wouldn't expect you to understand my actions. Lucius whispers, After all, it's not as if you have the mudblood's brains, is it? Lucius's fist clenched at his sides. I reach out and put my hand on his arm. Lucius's eyes flick to my hand just for a second before he comes to rest on Ron again. Avery called me away suddenly, he mutters. Couldn't lock the cupboard without revealing to him that I have something worth hiding away in there. I take a short breath. So he does think that we have reason to be worried about Avery. I was starting to think it was only me who thought so. Sometimes I feel like Lucius and I are balancing on the knife's edge. One false move and it could slit us both in two. Ron shakes his head with exasperation. It doesn't matter, he shouts. How I found out it isn't important. What's important is that I know. Lucius's lips curl up slightly, but I can see his mind working furiously behind those cold gray shadows of his eyes. Yes, you know, but you shall not remember it. I shall make sure of it. No, he can't do this to Ron. No, I won't let him. I step out in between Ron and Lucius, staring Lucius down despite his raised wand and his furious face. What the hell do you think you're doing? He asked incredulously. You can't alleviate him, I say, as steadily as I can. I won't let you. Have you completely lost your mind? He hisses at me furiously. No, I respond levelly, even though my heart is beating so hard that he makes my words throb. He doesn't deserve this, Lucius. Just listen to what he has to say, please. Why should I? Ron pushes past me roughly. You're going to listen to me, you bastard. If you don't want me to shout about what I've discovered on the top of my lungs for all to hear, then you will listen to what I have to say. Lucius raises his wand again quickly. Ron flinches, but he stands his ground, glaring at Lucius, who very slowly lowers his wand, trying to keep his breathing regular. Very well, he mutters venomously. Make it quick. Ron stares at him with absolute loathing for a few moments before he eventually speaks. You're sick, he mutters. You're twisted. He struggles for a moment, his face contorted. Lucius curls up in a sneer. Yes. He drawls, and Ron snaps. Shut up! He yells, his face flushed with a deep shade of maroon. Lucius just raises an eyebrow, taking a deep breath. Say what you must, Weasley, he mutters. He almost sounds resigned, as if nothing Ron could say could be new to him. He's probably said it about himself 1,000 times. Ron looks at him murderously before he starts to talk, his voice throbbing with rage. What's your problem? He asks. For God's sake, she's young enough to be your daughter. Ron's... Lucius's fingers flex by his side, but he manages to keep his face impassive. You're disgusting, Ron hisses. Lucius breathes a small laugh. So forthright, Weasley. He drawls. He steps forward. He steps towards me, closer, and then walks behind me. It's amazing how low sheer jealousy can prompt us to take. It's amazing what low sheer jealousy will prompt us to take. Ron just looks at Lucy as if he can't believe his ears. Lows? Can you hear yourself? Ron, his voice is raising unsteadily. Don't you kid yourself that you don't deserve every insult under the sun. Look at what you've done to her. She's barely 18. What is this? Do you get off on taking advantage of teenage girls? I hear Lucius's sharp intake of breath, but I don't register it. All I can take in is how close he is now. How he stands behind me, how I can feel his warm weight on by my shoulders, his breathing on my neck. You overestimate her, I fear. He murmurs. Oh God, I can feel his hand brushing against my shoulder, brushing up and eventually entangling its fingers in my hair, as the hairs on my back of my neck stand upright as his breathing shakes on my cheek. Lucius breathes a small laugh. And I can't take it anymore. I can't take the sight of Ron's ashen face so close to my eyes. I haven't taken advantage of anyone. Lucius's whisper is hot on my skin. You see, she welcomes what I do to her. I hear a strangled cry of rage and then a sudden movement. I open my eyes to see Ron's fist raising to Lucius's free arm extended over my shoulder, his wand pointed at Ron. Hold on. No, cat! You disgusting piece of ugh. Sorry. That cat, dude. I could tell you a story. I'm not going to. I'm not going to. Cat did nasty shit last night. It's not fucking okay with me. Enough said. Dark stories for another time. And I opened my eyes to see Ron's fist raised and Lucius's free arm extending over my shoulder, his wand pointed at Ron, whose eyes flicker down at the as he lowers his hands. A small chuckle escapes Lucius's throat as he lowers his wand. Ah. The everlasting courage of Gryffindors. I'll kill you, Malfoy. Ron's voice is thick with anger as he interrupts him. I swear to God, I'll kill you. How dare you touch her? Lucius laughed darkly, quietly, a small chuckle of the deepest cruelty. I'll do what I like. I'll do whatever I like with her, Weasley. He drawls triumphantly and tries to hook his fingers into my neck, running them down over my skin. I close my eyes for a second before opening them quickly. It's too cruel. It's not fair.